Yo, what's poppin'? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So, listen, man, it's so crazy to me that I have to do this audio because, I've been getting crazy amounts of emails lately. I'm glad you guys are sending in the emails, but I'm getting one particular theme of emails over and over again, and it keeps being about this looks thing, and it's like, it's just funny to me now. It's funny to me now. It's just like, man, like, you guys really don't get it. You don't get it. But this video, I wanted to talk about, like, thinking critically, and how if you do not know how to think critically, you will not understand the game. Because that's what the game is about. It's about thinking critically. It's about thinking critically and saying, okay, what do I need to do to get from here to there? And the information that I'm receiving, is this information going to help me get from here to there? Is this information correct? Have I done enough research? Have I put what I've learned into practice and seen if it works for me? Right? And you got to think critically. You got to, when you hear stuff, when you see stuff, you have to always question it. You understand? You have to question everything. Everything. You have to question everything. You don't just take things that you see and that you hear and just take it in and say, okay, this is what it is because I saw it here. This is what it is because I heard it here. And this goes for me also. This goes for when you're listening to me. Don't just take everything that I'm saying and say, well, Mr. Locario said it, so that's it. No, you have to think critically. You have to question everything. Even question everything you're hearing from me. You understand? You have to look over it with a fine-tooth comb and say, okay, is this making sense? Does this work? Does this work for me? Let me try it out. Let me see if it can, happen. Right? So you have to question everything. And this is, part of the game that I think a lot of you guys are missing. You understand? And the reason why I'm bringing this up, too, is that, I got an email. And it's funny because I did a radio show, like, I think, was it last year or something like that? It was a while ago. And it was my boy Louis B. He had his radio show, and he had some dudes from this website called Slut Hate or something like that. And one of the cats wanted to debate me on this whole looks thing and talking about on the thing that matters is looks and all this other craziness. So in that audio, I posted it up on the YouTube or whatever. And the dude mentioned, I think, some show in it, or he had a clip of the show in that, and in that audio. And so what I'm saying to you now is I got an email from somebody, and the subject says, dating in the dark U.S. proves that only looks matter. Right? So in the email it says, hey dude, go on YouTube and type in Dating in the Dark U.S. Season 1, Episode 5, and simply sit back and watch the whole thing. That destroys your whole argument and proves that looks matter. See, now this is what I'm talking about when I talk about you not thinking critically. Now, if you're watching a television show, now let's get to this thinking critically thing. Television. You know what that means? They are telling you what they want you to see. You understand? TV, or what you're watching on TV, even if it's a quote-unquote reality show, which is not reality, is orchestrated to send a certain message or to say a certain story. So what you're seeing on the television is not the truth. Do you understand that? The fact that a TV show has to edit already shows you that they put in and they take out, they take out what they don't want you to see, they put in what they want you to see. You understand? So you trying to prove something off of what you saw on TV is ridiculous. And this is what I'm saying about critical thinking. These shows have scripts. These shows have writers. You understand? So, it's funny to me because, you guys with the whole, this looks matter and looks this and looks that. And I've said this in plenty of videos. I said, look, looks matter if you want the girl to think you're cute. So if you guys want girls to think you're cute, then yes, looks matter. Okay? Be angry that you're not a super, sexy, pretty boy, sexy, flexy ass, model looking guy that some, teeny bopper is going to think is cute. Because that's when looks matter, when you want a girl to think you're cute. Okay? Now, when I talk about looks don't matter, which I've said plenty of times, what I'm talking about is that it doesn't matter in the sense of you getting sex. And a lot of you guys think that you getting sex or you having a girl wanting to give you sex, it all depends on your looks. And at first I was going to say, I'm going to stop talking about this, but I feel like I'm going to have to periodically talk about this and keep bringing this up until you guys get it, until you guys actually go out in the real world and not stay behind, just inside and not talk to women and just assume certain things. Because most of you guys who are sending me the emails about the whole looks thing, all you're doing, you're assuming things because you're not really going out there in the real world and talking to girls, approaching girls, interacting with girls. Why? Because you already think that you can't do it. You already think that she's not going to want you because, you're not quote unquote good looking. But again, critical thinking skills is lacking, because if you guys were critically thinking, you would say, let me think about this for a while. Let me question some more things. Have I ever seen a guy who's not so good looking with a girl? Have I ever saw that? Most of you would say yes. Right? So if you've seen a guy with a girl who's not so good looking, then wouldn't it make sense to say, well, maybe it's not all about looks? But then again, you might say, well, it's because he has a lot of money, right? So now what your excuse is going to be is that all the guys who don't look good, who have girls, it's because they have a lot of money, right? That's what you're going to say? Or I even had guys who hit me up and they said, oh, it's because, these guys who are not so good looking, who are ugly, they meet women in their social circle, or, it's a friend of a friend. But either way, wouldn't he be way too ugly to get a girl if looks is the only things that matters? Huh? Right? I mean, are all these guys, you're saying it could be just money, they have a lot of money, so just you think it's a coincidence? It happens to be all these guys who are not so good looking, which is most of the population, because most of the population is people who aren't supermodel looking good, right? So you're trying to tell me that all these guys who are not so good looking, who have women, all of them just have money. All of them are just balling. Is that, you see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about, critically thinking. Because if you were critically thinking, then we would not be having this discussion about looks and how much looks matters. See, the thing is, and I said this before, a lot of you want looks to matter. You want it. You want it so bad to matter. I'm going to tell you why you want it to matter. You want it to matter because, one, your ego. You want to be right. You want to be right. You want to say, ha, Mr. Locario. And this is exactly what you said in the email. It's like, this destroys your whole argument about and proves that looks like you want to be right so bad. Being right is that important to you. Let me tell you guys something. I have no interest in being right. Do you understand? I have interest in reality. I have interest in what works. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why I do these videos, because I want to tell you guys what works. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you what works in real life. I have no interest in being right. I like when someone says, hey, look, that thing you said, it wasn't correct. This is the correct thing. I double check it. I say, okay, cool. That's interesting. I thought it was this way. Now I found out that it was that way. Thank you. I know now that this is this, right? But it's like when a person brings that to me and they tell me, hey, what you were saying was incorrect. You understand? They actually bring something that's backed up by either, some facts or some research or something. You coming and saying, there's this TV show, this television show, right? That's saying that, this proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that looks matter. A television show. That's not critically thinking, because you have to go deeper. Do you understand? When you're critically thinking, you have to go deeper, right? But I want to get back. I'm going to get back to that later. But what I want to get to again is the reason why you want looks to matter. Because, first I said your ego, because you want to be right. You understand? It makes you feel good to be right. And that's, the whole ego thing. Another reason why you want looks to matter is because you want to have an excuse as to why you're not having success in the game. You understand? Again, like I said, looks matter if you want a chick to think you're cute. If you want the chick to think you're sexy, yes, it matters. Looks matter like a motherfucker if you want a chick to think you're sexy. If you want to fuck, if you want to have some sex, then that's a different story. And I've always said, listen, I would rather a chick, think I look like garbage and have her fuck me than her thinking I'm cute and just thinking I'm cute and I'm not getting no sex, right? Which is what happens with a lot of guys who are on some pretty boy shit, where they think, oh, all I had to do was be cute, and they're sitting there wondering and twiddling in their thumbs, and they're like, I just don't get why I'm not getting any ass. And it's because you, like all these other guys out here, thought it was just about looks. So, you want looks to matter because, one, your ego, and two, you want to have that excuse, right? And another thing too is like, it's like these guys keep coming up with all these different things they're like, oh my God, I have to prove that looks matter. And I'm just like, why? Why are you wasting your time? Because let's say for sake of argument that it did matter. Let's say that this is what mattered, right? Let's say that looks is the only thing that mattered, and that's all you needed to do is look good to get girls, right? Now, let's say for sake of argument, we're just going to keep this simple because, this is what I'm saying now isn't even, it's ridiculous because we're not critically thinking now, but, I'm just going to go with it so you guys can see it on a simple level. Now, let's say you're saying, oh, well, I have to be good looking in order to get girls. Now, let's say that you are not good looking or you think you're not good looking, right? Now, what do you need to do now in order to get girls if you want women? What do you need to do? Right? And that's really the question you should be asking yourself when it comes to this game. What do I need to do in order to get where I want to go? Right? Now, if your belief is that looks matter, and you're thinking, well, all these other guys who are getting girls who don't look good, it's because they have money, then guess what? You're just going to have to get some money then if that's what your belief is. Because that's what you need to do since you believe that looks matter. And since you're not good looking, the thing you have to do is get money. So then you're just going to have to get money because that's your belief. Right? But see, the thing is that these guys out here who you've seen who have women who are not, and they're not the best looking guys in the world, they didn't believe that they needed to be the best looking guy in the world to attract women. They didn't believe that they have to be good looking in order to get girls. You understand what I'm saying? Which is why they got them And the reason why you're not getting them is because your belief is that you have to be good looking to get the girls, right? And your lack of experience trying to get women and actually, trying to learn game is really what's holding you back, right? And it's funny because, they do these, I've seen these things online where they have these online dating experiments where these guys take these male models, they post their pictures up, and then they're like, oh, look, all these girls are messaging these guys because they look good, right? Again, if you want women to think you're cute, looks matter, right? Just because a woman messaged some guy on an online dating site does not mean that she wants to fuck him. Even if she says, I will fuck you, does not mean she will fuck him. You understand that? You know how many women I've had who've told me to my face, I want to fuck you, I want to have sex with you, I want to suck your dick, and they did not do it. And that's because a lot of times women front. I said this in another video. I had a friend who I went to college with, and dude was a good looking dude. You understand? Like he almost favored like a younger looking Brad Pitt type of guy. You understand what I'm saying? And he basically had this chick, and they were over the crib. They were both naked. He puts on the condom. She's literally about to get on top of this guy. And then she jumps up and says, oh my God, I can't do this. I feel like I need to go home. So he ends up not fucking this girl. So did his looks matter? Huh? I mean, did it matter? And again, some guys will say, well, he got that far because he looked good. Well, he almost got it. Well, you know what? I want to hire I want to hire you guys who think that way. He almost got it, so that's good enough. Okay, you know what? I want to hire you guys to work for me, and then I'm gonna almost pay you. I'm not gonna pay you. I'm gonna almost pay you, and then you'll see. Now, does it matter that you got a job now? Does it matter you are working for me because I almost paid you? Does it matter that he was a good-looking guy because he almost got sex? This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys, man. And also that, if we go deeper, we think about this whole thing, especially, we go back to the online dating thing. What you got to understand is that what women are seeing on these profiles, if you put up a picture of a good looking guy on a profile, what women are seeing is what they've been basically taught to like, which is that good-looking guy through media, through societal things, and a lot of it is basically media, like, watching movies, reading magazines. You understand, like the women who have grown up looking at, these pop stars, these sexy, flexy ass pop stars, watching, these good-looking romantic leads in movies and shit. That's all ingrained in their head, right? And when they see a quote-unquote hot guy's picture on an online dating site, they want to contact him because of their conditioning of wanting that guy, right? Now, follow me here, right? So what happens is that with online dating, women are a little bit more bold to message a guy on there because it's a little bit more safer for them. The rejection is not as huge as them actually talking to a guy in the streets, because a lot of these guys who are good looking still won't get a woman approaching them in the street that much in that manner. Do you understand what I'm saying? So women, they feel safe and to message those guys online. But again, they're messaging them because they are conditioned to like them. Now, a woman can say, hey, you're cute and, let's get together and blah, blah, blah. Now, let's say that this guy is, a a real person. Let's say this is not an experiment. This is an actual good looking guy. This is his profile. That's him. Right? And then he goes and hangs out with the chick. Now, this is where the shit gets tricky. And this is where game comes in. Because for a woman, and women don't even know this or realize this, most of them don't realize this, is that what triggers them to want to really sleep with a guy and get with him in that manner, right, has more to do with, the biological reasons, meaning, more to do with, hey, does this guy seem like a protector and provider? Does this guy seem like he can give me security? This is why women want to get married. This is why women, they stress, oh, I want a boyfriend, I want a husband, I want a guy who's going to commit to me. Why do you think they want that shit? Because it's ingrained in them to have a man to protect them, to upgrade them, to have them in that situation. All of which have nothing to do with, guess what? Looks. So this is why you have a woman who will see that cute guy, think he's cute, and still won't fuck him. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I just don't know how much more I gotta explain this shit to you guys. And again, there are women who will see a guy, think he's cute, and have sex with him. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But to the extent that you guys are acting like, oh my God, all a guy has to do is be good looking, walk into a room, all the chicks are going to want to fuck this guy, and all the guys who are not good looking are just shit out of luck. You guys are crazy. That's ridiculous. You understand? And it shows that you don't have critical thinking skills, because your lack of critical thinking skills is really why you're not having the success you want with these women. You understand? Because truthfully, I can understand why you guys would think that it's all about looks. Because again, I said this in my other video, is that you look at a woman and you say, hey, she's fucking hot, I want to do her. So that means that a woman will see a guy and say, he's hot, I want to do him, right? But again, lack of critical thinking skills. And also it's because, the information that you have is limited. So since you have limited information, it's even hard for you to sort of think critically, because you're not really looking at things objectively. Because if you were thinking critically, you would have more successful women. Why? For example, you would say to yourself, you know what? I might not be the best looking guy, but I've seen other guys who are not so good looking. I've seen other guys who I think I'm better looking than with women. So guess what? That must mean that I can also get women too, right? But in order for you to come to that conclusion, you have to think critically. And if you were to think that way, then that would somewhat propel you to talk to girls. And then when you start talking to girls, you'll start noticing that you're going to be attracting some of these women. You understand? And then that's when you will actually realize and see and understand the truth. Because you guys are not going to understand the truth by sitting on the sidelines. And that's what most of you guys are doing. You're sitting on the sidelines and you are making up stories, or you're trying to connect dots that are not even there. It's because you don't know. You have no idea. You understand? You guys are like, it's like somebody saying, hey, the only way you'll be able to become rich is if if you were born into richness. If your dad was rich, that's the only way you're going to get rich, is if your dad was rich, or you have rich people in your family, and that's the only way you're going to be rich. And then somebody comes along and says, you know what? You don't need to have a rich family. You can actually work hard and, make money and build yourself up and become a millionaire. And then you're like, no, that's bullshit. You need to be rich in order to get rich, in order to stay rich. There's no way you're going to be from a dirt poor place and become rich, right? But then you have all these stories of people who have done that. And you're like, oh, it's because they knew this person. It's because they knew this other guy that did that. No, they actually worked at it and they became rich. But you're looking from the outside in, and the thing is that since you don't believe that that can happen, you don't believe that a guy who's poor can actually make it rich, you don't think that since you're poor, that you can also do it. So it's the same thing with this. Since you don't believe that, a guy who isn't good looking can get women, and you figure, hey, well, I'm not good looking, so then that means I can't get women. And the only reason that these other guys are getting women is because they're good looking. So that's the way your mind frame is. This is what you believe. And the thing is, you believe in it because you do not think critically. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I mean, what else can I really say about this? What else can I really say about this? I'm getting a lot of emails. Dudes hit me up talking about, oh, well, if a dude is good looking and he has game, and another guy is, not good looking, but they also have the same level of game, then the good looking guy is going to get more chicks than the not so good looking guy. And my response to that is, so what? Is that's like me saying, you know what? This BMW, it ran a little faster than this other BMW that was dirty. It wasn't washed for like 3 weeks. And this one is going to run faster than the one that's dirty. I mean, is it really? Aren't they both BMWs? One just has a different look than the other. Can't both of these cars drive or get a person from point A to point B? So if you have a good-looking guy and a not-so-good-looking guy and they both have game, can't they both get women? But again, like I said, a lot of you guys is just the ego thing. You want to be right. And also, too, like I was saying earlier, the game is about what can you do for you to make things happen for you. Right? So even if you have the good-looking guy and the not-so-good-looking guy, and they both have game, and you're like, well, the good-looking guy is going to get more because he's good-looking, and the guy who's not so good-looking, he's not going to get as much. So what? Let's say you're that good-looking, that not-so-good-looking guy, and let's say you get 5 girls to go on dates with you this week, and the good-looking guy gets 7. Are you going to give a fuck? No, you're going out with 5 girls, right? But this is what I'm saying. You guys are focused on the bullshit and you're not thinking critically. Because if you were thinking critically, you would say, you know what? Fuck all that other shit. What do I need to do to get where I need to get? I've seen other guys who are not so good looking get with chicks. Let me apply what I've seen. Let me use that knowledge to know that it's possible in order for me to do what I need to do. But y'all don't want to see it that way. Y'all don't want to think about it that way. You want to sulk. You want to be mad. You want to get upset. You want to point the finger. You want to think it's hopeless because you're not good looking. And it's just like, man, I don't know what to say. I mean, like, what else? What else do you guys need, man? You just got to go out there and do it. And you wasting time trying to, go for this whole back and forth. And the reason why I'm even doing this, because I was going to say, I'm not even going to really mention this anymore because I've mentioned it enough. But I feel like, I need to. And I feel like I needed to bring up this whole critical thinking thing because it seems like a lot of guys are just lacking that. And this is why you're not having success with women. And this is why even if, let's say, you get in a situation with a woman, you might end up fucking your whole situation up because you don't think critically. And then the girl might end up playing you. The girl might end up, fucking your whole situation up because you have little to no critical thinking skills. You end up getting with a girl and she'll be on some straight, ratchet shit, or try to set you up, or try to do some other grimy shit to you because you didn't see the signs because you weren't thinking critically. You weren't thinking about why this girl is doing A, B, and C. Why is she acting this way right now? How come before she was acting like she wasn't feeling me, and now all of a sudden she's all up on me? What does that mean? Why is she doing that? What is that about? Right? So all I'm saying is that, when it comes to the game, you have to think critically. It's very important, because if you do not think critically, you're going to keep making the same mistakes. If you don't think critically, if you don't question things, you're not going to get to the point where you get a better understanding of what's going on, right? And also, too, in order for you to really, get to the point where you're getting some sort of perspective to even think critically on a whole nother level, what that means is that you have to put yourself out there. Because what I know about most of you guys out there that's sending me all these looks matters questions is that most of y'all aren't putting yourselves out there enough. Because if you were, then things will be happening for you, and you would realize, oh shit, this whole thing I was thinking about looks, this whole thing I was, belly aching over, it's not true. You know why? Because since I've been putting myself out there, things have been happening. You understand? Since I've been putting myself out there, I've noticed, okay, wow, I need to work on this, and then I worked on it, and then I improved. Right? Even like myself, for example, right? Like, I could have been the type of person that say, you know what? People, there's no way you can make money online. It's all a scam. All these guys out here just scamming people, and it doesn't work, and you can't build a business online, and it's bullshit, and it just can't happen, and it doesn't matter, this, or it only matters if you have, $100 million to start with, so you can, you know what I'm saying? I could have been the same type of guy saying that shit, right? But what happened was when I first started doing what I'm doing, as far as doing Mr. Locario, right? I was working on my stuff. I was, saying, hey, you know what? I could build something. Because in the back of my head, I had that same thinking of, oh, no, this is probably some bullshit or whatever. But then I said, you know what? Let me think critically about this. Let me really think critically about this. There's so many people online making money. So I'm like, there can't be this many people bullshitting. It just can't be. Right? Then I said to myself, okay, let me do some research and see how much money people are actually making, or if people are actually making any money, right? So then I started reading some articles. I started looking at other people who are doing like online marketing and hearing their stories and how they got things going on or whatever. And some people, people were saying, hey, it's going to take a long time, or, you're not going to get rich overnight. There's other people saying, hey, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. So I'm taking all these different things, taking all this input, taking all this research, putting myself out there and saying, you know what, I'm going to take the chance and do it and see what's going to happen, right? So then I took the chance, and when I started doing stuff, I wasn't making any money. Matter of fact, the first 2.5, 3 years, doing videos, articles, putting stuff up, putting products up, I didn't make any money, right? But then I started, I was researching more, thinking critically. People were saying, hey, it's going to take you, a couple years to make money on a new business. You got to just keep pushing. You got to keep going, right? All through that time, I got, I was on YouTube, got freaking more than a dozen of my channels, torn down. You understand what I'm saying? Which was making it hard for me to really build my audience. But I kept going. I kept putting up new channels, put up my own website. You understand? Put up my own blog site and all this other stuff. and just kept going, right? Now, even on this channel, as I'm recording this video right now on Locario Fan, the channel, I got over 1,000 subscribers, which started out as fucking 0 subscribers because I kept getting my shit taken down, right? But then I kept doing it, I kept building it, and then more and more people started watching, right? More and more people started buying shit, and I started making money online. But that only happened because I put myself out there and I actually, saw what, I actually was, doing what I needed to do to get the perspective of what can really happen and what really goes on. See, I wasn't sitting on the sidelines saying, oh, this will never work, and this is like that, and this is like that. No, I'm actually speaking from being in the game. You understand? And my critical thinking skills comes from me having that perspective. You feel what I'm saying? But see, the sad part about it is that a lot of y'all are sitting on the sidelines and you're not looking at it from that perspective, or you're not really being able to get that perspective because you're not putting yourself in the game. Because if you did, then you would say, okay, I'm out here, I'm trying to get these chicks, shit's not happening the way I want it to happen. What do I need to do? Remember, what do I need to do to make things happen for me? What do I need to research? What do I need to step up? What do I need to make more, what do I need to make happen more? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to do more of? You understand? But again, what you guys do is you're giving up and you're retreating and you're just saying, well, you know what? It's all about looks. I don't look good, and that's that. It's over. I'm done. And this is why you're not having success. All right? So you got to think critically and you got to be in this. All right? So that's it. I'm out of here, guys. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. All right, now before you click off this video, I need you to do 3 quick things. First, I need you to click the link below to send me your questions, because if you have any questions, I'll answer them in a video. 2, click the link under that to get my free ebook, The Magnificent 10 Crucial Dating Tips for Men. It gives you 10 tips on how to attract beautiful women. And number 3, I want you to click the link under that to go to badboymembership.com, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video tutorials every month. Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy Membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy-to-follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy Membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.